Chame Wangapo, chame chame. Waiting for some of y'all to come on. I'm a little late for my normal 2 o'clock time, but since we kind of veered into it last time, I'm going to talk about pine needles. Lito coach. So these are some pine needles that I had collected the last time I went on my family land out in the country. Okay. They're old on old Pamunkey land. Right. It says it has vitamin C. So you can see the stems. I'm going to show you guys how to tell the different pine. Lito Odessa. The different types. This is a white. Let me show y'all. Can't really see because these are so dried out. So I went a couple weeks ago. So these are white pine. This is from a white pine tree. So these like grow freely throughout the whole North America, including Canada, because Canada is North America. And what people do, Lito, Linda, people do is they make a tea out of it, okay? That's the easiest way to do it. You can smoke it, but I don't smoke, so I don't know. Usually people will mix it in with something else. They're gonna smoke it. Or if they're gonna, you know, sage, as they call it now, you know, put smoke through the home or in a circle or whatever. Yes, you can smoke pine and you can eat it, but it's gonna taste like how it smells. Okay. So we're talking about indigenous spirituality. Y'all offended by it. Y'all don't need to be on this live, okay? You're not gonna you're not gonna throw holy water on my feed, okay? Yes, it's for real. This is science. This is reality, okay? The science of the pine. So I'm about to go into it. You can just put it in the coffee cup, right? Y'all see that? And you can add water. What you would do is you would take boiling water. I got a water bottle. And pour it over top of the needles. Okay, I don't want to spill it. And you just let that hot water seep on it for 5 to 10 minutes. And you have a nice pine needle tea. Okay, and then this is a very powerful mix, you guys. And like I said, where's the cap? New cap. As plain, no, pine nuts is something different. Pine nuts is European. This pine, the pine has a pollen to it that people eat as well. So you can eat the actual pine needles. Yes, please like and share, you guys. Please like and share. You can eat the actual pine needles, okay? And they're usually very long. The long ones have a more piney taste than the shorter pine needles that you just saw, okay? So the shorter ones, it's gonna run through clear. Once you have a tea, it's gonna look very clear. May have a slight green ting to it, like a green tint color, but it can be easily confused with water, okay? What about the pine cone? The pine cone has a lot of resin on it. You can actually eat the pine cone, you guys. It has fibers, full of fiber. So the ancestors knew all this stuff. They knew the power of pine sol. I mean, the power of, y'all know the saying, the power of pine sol, with their advertising for that brand. But they're really, like, the real pine is very powerful. Now, went to this grocery store earlier, and I was looking at pine sol and the ingredients, and it's very toxic, you guys. Like, even on the bottle, it says hazardous to humans and to animals, okay? So you have to really rethink if you want that around your family. You want your animals licking the floor and getting toxic pine sol syndrome or whatever. You want to have the most natural thing that you can get. And we talked about it in the last video. If you guys want to check out the last video and see what I talked about, it's towards the end. But we talked about how the ancestors used to mop the floor with the pine, right? Just like I put the water and the pine needle in here, you can take these, put in a bucket of water, or you can use the pine needle. I don't have it with me. They have a pine needle essential oil as well. Put it in there. You can use Dawn dish detergent if you really, you know, that concerned with that, but you can mop your whole floor with it. And also this is for spiritually, it's protection. Okay, the pine is a very protective plant, a very protective tree. Okay, so let me get into, it's a whole bunch. I have a whole bunch of notes on the pine tree. Okay, and it's very good. This pine tea, pine needle tea is very good for your health. I picked this off a tree, baby. You asked me, did I buy this? No, I did not buy this from the store. You can go out, if you're in North America. I think if you live in Europe too, some of y'all, I know some of y'all live in Europe, they do have pine. Oh, I still got it in my mouth. Y'all saw me eat it. I really ate it, y'all. But these growing trees. They are trees. They're part of the tree. Okay. And the way you can tell, I forgot to show y'all before. If you pull off one of these clusters, now this one has some that's been taken off. But if you pull off the clusters, you can count how many needles are on the cluster, right? This one has 3 because some of them came off. Let me check again. No, actually, this is this is a yellow pine. Okay, so the other needles that you saw were a white pine. This is a yellow pine, and you can tell by the 3 different needles. Okay, white pine has 5 of these, and then red pine has like 2, only 2. Peace, you guys. So all these 3, the 3 white, red, and yellow are pretty good for you. Some of them are poisonous, you guys, so you have to be aware. The kind of poisonous are the yew pine tree, spelled Y-E-W, ponderosa pine tree, and then the Norfolk Island pine tree. Those are not. I think a lot of those are in Europe anyway, so. But yeah, you can read the clusters. So if you're out in the wilderness, you're in a survival situation, you'll know which ones are good. The ones that have the 5, the 3, like this one, the yellow, and the 2, okay? You said as soon as you get back, you're gonna get some. Yeah, and it's free, you guys. You can go to your park or whatever. Like they have parks in the city, you know. I don't know what city you're in. Even if you guys are in the city, you can go to the park, pluck it off the tree. I mean, I wouldn't be too aggressive with it, but just take them off the tree and put them in a little baggie. I had mine in a little baggie. And you make your tea. And some people take it up to 2 or 3 times a week. Some people take it 2 times a day, 5 times a week. It's, you know, it's healthy for you. It's non-toxic, so you can take it. Let me go over some of the benefits now. Pine needles are 300 times more concentrated with vitamin C than an orange, okay? And it also has 5 times more vitamin C than a lemon. You said going in on the botany class. This is for the ancestors. This is the herbal stuff, right? I know I'm not in Ontario. I'm not in Canada. So yes, and it's 500 times the daily dose of vitamin C that you need. Okay, so this little cup right here, those little bit of pine needles 500 times the daily dose of vitamin C that you need. Okay, and pine needles also cure scurvy. When the Europeans came here, y'all know they was infested with scurvy. So the indigenous people, to heal them, a lot of their sicknesses, they gave them pine needle tea. Okay. I'm not sure about absorbic acid. Are you not concerned about the soil depletion of nutrients and minerals because of chemtrails? Um, I'm not sure, but I know that trees like pine and oak, they're really resistant to a lot of these chemicals. It's like they're really trying hard to destroy the planet, but Mother Nature is fighting back. Mine's is dry, but probably better to get them fresh off the tree. You can dry them out, like they'll dry out after a couple of days eventually, and that's still fine. But just like I saw, some of them were, I had the short ones in here. These one long ones, you can take them, you see, break them up, and that will activate all the nutrients and just put it in the cup, okay? So it also will raise your vibration and give you higher energy if you're having a low energy day. I feel like I'm having one now, so I'm going to drink this afterwards. It's an antiseptic, so we used it a lot in doing healing wounds and surgery. It actually does help to heal wounds, but it cleans it as well. So if they were doing any type of surgical procedure or stitches, they would use the pine. They also use white oak as well, but we're focusing on pine today. It boosts your immune system. So people who are dealing with cancer or diabetes, even HIV, pine needle tea will help you, okay? It also heals lung infection. So it's a long list. It regenerates the skin and hair for those who have issues with hair growth. And it actually produces red blood cells. Okay. Let me see what else. And when I snapped it, you guys, the green stuff in the needles is chlorophyll. I know some of the vegans and people in the health hear about chlorophyll, so the stuff in there is chlorophyll. So it's very healthy for you. And that's why I wanted to talk about stuff like the stuff in the Americas is right outside. It's free most of the time. And we keep people talking about moringa and all these different African herbs. When we have herbs here that are just as powerful and more powerful. Yes, it produces red blood cells. So chlorophyll is plant melanin. Exactly. So it is also a great source of vitamin A, C, A, B, C, and E. Okay, so it's a very complete source of vitamins. It's a strong anti-mutagenic, so it stops your genes from mutating. It's an antioxidant, and it's an anti-proliferative. Okay, the properties in it prevents the growth of cancer cells. Because, yes, it is a major, like, this stuff is just right outside. Did you have to dry them out? No, they naturally dry out themselves after a couple of days. So that's what I was telling you. If you can get them fresh off the tree and make the tea that day, that's good. If you can't, that's still fine. Because when you snap it, you're going to have to snap it to activate it. So you snap them into halves, then you'll get the same minerals. It didn't really go into kidneys when I was doing my research. I'm pretty sure it's for that. It's good for your whole immune system. So if you're having any type of issues, it's good to drink it. Halito. One of the other major things it does is rid your body of parasites. Parasites and any other foreign, I don't know what you want to call it, entities or whatever the things are. People really have real living parasites in their body, and we don't talk about it. A lot of people do not realize that they have it. And a lot of it comes from fast food and things like that, right? Even some of these fruits have these parasites in it. So it's not just meat, you guys. It's everything you have to watch, Right. So you can be doing all this stuff and be on a vegan diet, and you'll still get parasites from certain types of vegetables. That's why it's good to incorporate these herbs on whatever diet that you're in. So the pine needle tea is an herb. Michael? No, I didn't see what you said. I'm not sure what email you're talking about, Michael. Yes. So let me get back to what it does. It's, if you're having a cold, it definitely, I'm sorry. If you have a cold or flu, it fights the cold and flu. So back in the day, I know some people, their grandmothers would make them drink the pine needle tea, either if they got a cold already or if they're trying to prevent the cold, okay? Let's see what else. I already told y'all about it being poison. They're having the certain trees, there's only 3 trees of pine that are poisonous. You said you're going to add it to your medicine chest? Yes, please do. It's very, very good. The only thing is if you're pregnant, it's not suggested that you drink it, though. Only for pregnant people. So if you're pregnant and if you, have other serious issues besides cancer and things, I would, check with my doctor. What'd you say? Did you say vitamin A? Yes, vitamin A, B, C, E, and chlorophyll. All of that. All of it, Lewis. All of it. Okay. The indigenous people used to add like mint and ginger to it, so it helps with your breath as well. So you can chew on, like people used to like chew on the pine needles, just like they used to chew on mint or ginger. And you can bake it to make pine tar salve for your wounds. So even like bullet wounds and things, you can put pine tar on it. And that's actually what they used to do, like in the Civil War and stuff. In the old days, and even before the Europeans came, they used that. It's antibacterial and antiviral, so you can wash your hands with it. And you can perform surgery after washing your hands because it's an antiseptic as well. You said, could you use a bowl and herb stone to crush it? Yep, I was just going to show y'all that. I have a pedestal here, and I actually have some in there. If you can see it, you can't barely see it. I'm going to put some more in there and crush it. So just snap it. Just snap it in half this time. And you can just crush it up in there if you really need to make it to a fine powder. For those who know how to do it. Right? And then you can take those needles or whatever, and you can put it in the oil. Now these pine also helps with pains and muscle spasms and muscle soreness as well. So you can take this and you can just put it in here. Some people use this for their different spiritual works, hoodoo and Wicca and whatever people are into. The pine is also for prosperity. If you're doing that type of work, doing magic work, you use pine for prosperity. And this oil is sunflower oil. So if you're working with your ancestors who are woodland, they would like stuff that they were used to, and it's sunflower seed oil, which they had, and the pine. Okay, you can add other things in here, juniper berries or whatever. And then they also like sound. I got this rattle from Columbia at one of the powwows. We also use the healing sound as well. So people would drink their tea at maybe like a social event after all the work is done, sunset. They had the rattles. Or if somebody was actually sick and they couldn't work, they would be sipping their tea. And that sound, right, that frequency would help heal them as well. And that's a turtle. Y'all can't see it. The turtle is a real turtle shell. You said vitamin D. And this one doesn't really have it doesn't have vitamin D. That's the only thing it doesn't have. You said, would you recommend vitamin 500? Um, the 1 cup of this tea is better than that. And you can get this free off your tree outside, or you can go down south. You can just get collect a whole bag full of it. You said pine is your best friend. You're having muscle pain. Yes, and also, Dessa, try the white oak as well. Like the bark of the white oak tree. You can actually go to the park, like I said, when you're getting your pine, and you can scrape the bark off the tree and make that into a separate tea, or you can put it together if you want to. And it's free. But I wouldn't, you got to do that. Do that on the low. If you got a knife or a hatchet, you don't want the park ranger catching you chopping on the trees, okay? Or if you have one in your backyard, your grandma's house. And also, there's no need for a flu shot if you are drinking your pine needle tea. And that's something that they do not want us to know. It is more effective than the flu shot. Okay, so those who are nurses and things, I don't know if you can get any type of, what do they call those, waivers? But I would drink the pine needle tea as well. Okay, I think I covered everything on my notes. Let's see. Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, so you can, like I said, you can use it on wounds externally. You could drink it, you can smoke it. I have no experience with smoking it, but you can, whatever you do, if you want to put it in your herbs, sprinkle some in there, you can do that. But it might be better just to drink it as a tea. It's going to go all through your body, so you don't do flu shots. Yeah, but if you're a teacher or you're around, like you're a nurse or whatever, it's perfect to have some pine needle tea and drink it. Okay. Oh, and also, if you put it on your skin, like even drinking it, it helps with acne, and helps with your eyesight as well. Okay, so I don't think I have anything else on there. You guys have any questions? Y'all so quiet today. Y'all usually got a bunch of questions for me. So you got it. Oh, Halito Orlando. Peace, Sheba. I see you, girl. You said one text. You text me months. I can't remember that, Michael. You're gonna have to send it again, I guess. What about an oil infuser? Yes, you can use, like I was mentioning earlier. They have an essential oil, pine needle essential oil, or pine essential oil, whichever you can find. I got mine off eBay. You can get it wherever, and use that. But it's just gonna smell like pine sol through your house. If you really want to hang on to that pine sol, you can make your own smells and stuff. But that stuff is toxic, y'all. I was, just because I knew I was going to do this video, I wanted to look at actual pine sol, and my jaw dropped, and it says hazardous to humans and children, and not children, humans and animals. Like, what is it good for then? You can seriously make your own pine sol. If y'all want me to show y'all how to do that, then I'll make another video. Right, turpentine, that's all it is. You can buy the turpentine as well in the health stores or Home Depot. So this guy, Jerry Miller, he makes really excellent pieces. Oh, actually, I have one on. He made this piece. He works a lot with orgone and metals and things like that. I got this years ago. It looks like Queen Khalifa to me, but I got it years ago before I was really deep in the indigenous stuff, when I was in between those lines. But anyways, he does great work. But he posted about one of his friends saying that she uses the turpentine oil that she gets from Home Depot, and makes a tea. Yes, okay, I'll show you how to make natural pine sol. But she makes the tea with that. And I was just saying, like, you can get the pine needles, and you don't know what extra stuff that they might be putting in that stuff, especially if it's at Home Depot. I mean, y'all can do your research on your own. It might be perfectly fine. It could be natural, because I know Home Depot sells natural things, but the free 99, free 99, right? You just go and get you some. And here's another one I have. I'm just weird. I just have random pine things in my house. I love nature, so I just have random pine. Let me see if I can check this one too. See what kind of tree this is. Yeah, I believe this is yellow too. Yeah, these are yellow. Yellow. Has three. And the other one was the short one. Let me show y'all again. That's the white pine. And it's a little, it has a nicer taste to it, it's sweeter. The little short ones. Can't be a deal, right? It's a steal. It's past the deal. It's a steal. And the nature belongs to you, so you're able to take it, right? You said 100% pure spirit gum. Exactly. You can use that. I believe some of the health food stores might have it, but sometimes, y'all, the stuff in the health food stores would be the same stuff in Home Depot, right? Just a different package and probably cost more money. So if you can check the packaging, and it might be good if you want to use the liquid kind, or you're in the city and you can't get to the pine trees, you know. It's 100% pure gum spirits of pine, turpentine. Oh, you advertising, available on Amazon and eBay. Yes, you can probably get it on there. That is amazing, right? So our ancestors knew. That's one of the things about them. They really knew the land. They knew how to work with it. They knew how it would benefit them. And a lot of this stuff is much better than modern day medicine and all these other surgeries. Like this stuff here can prevent you from having to pay thousands of dollars in surgery, uh, getting leukemia and different things. It's good to drink it just to prevent these things because they're pumping so many chemicals and 5G and all this stuff. It's not good. You said your grandfather used to use spider webs and kerosene and wonder why he get it from. Yeah, he might have been from a line of herbalists. I'm gonna get a whole branch. Look what I did. You gonna get a whole branch of pine. I was like, forget that. I'm not gonna sit there picking needles. I just grabbed this and I grabbed this from two different trees. Because I had plucked the other ones, the shorter needles. Peace, P. I had plucked the shorter needles. I'm like, forget this. Let me just break these things off. Yes, you can consume. Turpentine is basically a processed pine. It's the pine processed. You said you can truly attest to oil pine tea. I've been taking it for years and it got me off of blood pressure medicine. Thanks, Empress, for giving this indigenous information out to people. Needed love, much needed love. Oh, thank you, Ancient Run. Thank you for attesting to it. It's very good for you. And you can use the essential oils to make a tea with as well if you can't get to the pine. Essential oils. Some essential oils are good to use. So try to get the most natural one. You said your grandma taught you? Yes. Stirring, you said, does hoodoo come from American Indian blacks? Both my great grandmas were healers and root workers, and both are Indian ancestry. Yes, hoodoo does. A lot of the stuff that they do are from the American Indian or Indigenous Aboriginal traditions, right? Oh yes, pine needles help with the menstruation cycles too. Helps regulate your menstruation. Get your hormones. It works with your hormones. Get your hormones on track. Right. So all that, like I told y'all, you can make this. People use this in hoodoo. This is sunflower oil. I know a lot of the people use olive oil. That's not gonna. Your ancestors aren't familiar with olive oil. They're familiar with sunflower seed oil or acorn oil. Sunflower seed oil is more accessible, or hemp oil as well. And you can just put the pine needles in there for prosperity and juniper berries. If y'all into that, you're not into it, you don't have to be into it, okay? Just don't leave me no negative messages. You said the Cherokee made their own turpentine. My ancestor did. Tasha, she's on the mark. Very fantastic. Thank you, Darlene. He said, I was just telling my grandchildren the other day how my grandma used to send me outside to get pine straws for tea. Yep. Your grandma knew. See, all this stuff sapphire oil, I believe that's from the Middle East or North Africa. So, sunflower seed oil or hemp oil, the woodland people use. You can more expensive red raspberry oil or blueberry oil. Those are more expensive. Yes, I used to use black seed oil, but that is also from Africa and the Middle East. But all those are good products. I was just trying to focus on the American Indian stuff, right? And sunflower seed oil, you can find that in the grocery store as well as hemp seed oil, or you can order those things online. You said okay, okay. They said they're planting like GMO pine trees now, so-called to save the planet. You said you use hemp oil for the muscle plant? Yeah, so put that, add some white oak. You can get the extract or you can get it the bark and add some pine. And if you can do rosemary, I know a lot of women or pregnant women can't do rosemary. You can add some rosemary. That's what our ancestors used to all that stuff. You said you're going to try. Sunflower seed oil is very good for your skin and wrinkles and things like that. Okay, I need to actually use it. But yeah, it's very good for your skin. With the pine in it, you can use this. You don't have to use this for any type of spirituality. With the pine, you can use this for acne, right? Right. Put this on after you can do Indian healing clay mask, and you put this on afterwards after you wash it off. You can use red raspberry seed oil. It's good for that as well. You say great grandmother got rid of your dad's warts with potato skin. Yeah, see, look at that. And red raspberry seed oil does that too. It'll get rid of skin tags and warts. I think white oak does too. I'm not sure. Have you ever heard of Osha root? Yes, I heard it. I don't really use it though. You said you list pine, sunflower seed oil, raspberry seed oil. Now, raspberry seed oil is a little more expensive. They do have essential oil for it too, for raspberry seed oil. And the red raspberry seed oil helps with blemishes and dark marks as well. You said your mom used baking soda and warm water for nausea. Oh, okay. Well, you can use ginger root. Ginger root for nausea. I remember the old ladies were telling me when I was pregnant, just cut it up and put it in there and drink it. So you won't be sick all day. It works. It does work. And that also, like I was telling y'all the other day, it checks your belly fat. So I didn't gain much weight in my pregnancy. I gained like him in my body, but the weight, I didn't really gain it. I was drinking the ginger tea. I said, you got it. Yeah, but the baking soda does work with warm water. Warm water definitely works. White oak. Yes, white oak is a little expensive too. But like I said, you can go to the tree and get it. You can go to the tree and get the bark off. And that's why y'all notice if y'all go to the store and y'all getting firewood, y'all notice they don't got no bark on that wood. Most of that wood is oak and stuff like that. And they know it has medicinal properties to them. And then you'll go to the store, you'll see in the little vitamin jar, you'll see white oak in there. But you paying very cheap to buy the wood, but the wood don't have the bark on it. So what was the significance of the white oak tree? I'm going to get more into that. I can do a whole separate video if y'all want me to do on the white oak tree. I already wrote my notes on the white oak tree in relation to the Harriet movie I'm supposed to be doing a review for. Very sacred tree. Very, very sacred and significant. You said, yes, please. Okay, I will. I will. But it's very sacred to us. The tree itself, people used to eat the tree. Like I said, the tree is medicine. right? All this stuff, the pine tree is medicine as well. You said we can drink the pine needles into, yes, you can eat you can eat it. It's pure vitamin C. Vitamin C, A, B, and E. So it's very healthy. It's not toxic at all. It actually gets rid of toxins. And it smells good. You should be smelling like pine saw all day. Okay, I'm trying to see what y'all talking about. He said a lot have the knowledge of these herbs, especially marijuana, but today it's hard to get in the industry. Yeah, it definitely is. You guys, you see this, what is it, the CBD and hemp oil and stuff is very popular now. And that's the stuff our ancestors been do. Can you post a picture of it? No, my notes look like chicken scratch. It look crazy. I don't even know how I read it. But I'm gonna go over to the Harriet movie. Hopefully I'll be able to record that soon. Oh my gosh, this damn phone. You at Walmart shopping in the forest. What? Oh my goodness, where's this phone at? Oh goodness. Sorry, y'all. All right. You said we need to get our children in the woods and connect back to nature and learn what can heal you and what can kill you. And I'm thankful for my grandmother for showing me that is true. I try to show my son every time we're out in the woods. I actually had a couple of videos of me doing that, but I have been, kind of hesitant of posting him. What about pine bark? It's the same as pine needles. It's pine bark, especially the bark that has the pine resin. Thank you for bringing it up because I forgot about pine resin. It has a nice healing properties. Not as good as oak, white oak. Okay, but if the pine resin alone, that stuff that oozes out of the tree, very healing for wounds. You can eat it as well. It's very gummy. People used to use it as a glue as well. To use it as a glue. But the resin is very powerful. And you can make a tea out of the resin too, right? Or you can eat it as candy. They used to have maple sugar and the pine resin, and they make a little candy out of it. There's a certain way to clean the needles so they don't lose potency. Um, you clean them, they get washed all the time by nature, they'll be fine. You don't have to wash them if you, skeptical about that. You can just rinse them off in some water. And like I said, take it and snap it to get the chlorophyll, get it activated. Right? The short ones, you don't really have to do that. But if they dry out, do that. Even if they're not dry out, you can still do that. Put it in your pedestal. You can grind it up if you want to as well. Oop, that thing's just jumped out at me. I'm going to clean this up later. But yeah, you can do that. Let's see what y'all got some long replies here. He said, did the ancestors grow marijuana along with tobacco? Um, yes, depends on where you were. In Virginia, we had hemp. It's a little different than marijuana. I don't know if it had THC or what type of level it is, but it definitely was different than the stuff now. And it was not used daily like people are using it now. It was only used for ceremony or for if you're having guests, but that's usually part of the ceremony as well. Certain guests and come in town and dignitaries or whatever. And that would be the only time people would smoke the hemp. Now, the hemp oil and stuff, they would use that all the time. But, people didn't do that because it had a lot of spiritual stuff behind it. And same for tobacco. Same for tobacco. I think tobacco was more used than the hemp or the marijuana. Said if you're up north, spruce trees from the same family as pine. Oh, that's good. Yeah, if it's same as pine, it's good. As long as it wasn't those three that I mentioned. So true. This spring, I promised my babies that we're going to explore the woods and grow a garden with a granny. They're so excited. Oh, that's good, Peaches. He said, my mother could always recognize different types of trees, and now I put it together, her knowledge and the old stories, and connect to our indigenous peoples. I'm excited. Oh, y'all all excited about this video. I'm so happy. You said you mix it with honeycomb. Yeah, you can do that. Yes, we have bees here. Our bees here didn't used to have stingers, though. There's still some bees that don't have stingers. But the ones with stingers are foreign. They're from Europe and Africa, African killer bees and stuff. But our bees didn't used to have stingers, or they still don't. He said, happy to meet you. Oh, were you speaking Cherokee? What do you think about the red clay pregnant women used to eat it? Yeah, red clay is good. Clay is actually very healthy to eat. Red clay, I actually ate some earlier. I know y'all think I'm gross. I'm eating pine trees and clay, but it's good for you. Even the Indian healing clay. Thank you, HM. Even I'm over here breaking needles. Even the Indian healing clay is good to eat. Certain types, there's food grade ones, and then there's other ones that say it's not food grade. I've even eaten those before, so but I wouldn't eat it in large doses. You said you ate clay growing up. Yeah, but some pregnant women have this thing. What do they call it? Some type of fixation to eat dangerous things. I know y'all seen that show with those people that eat all that weird stuff. What they recommend, like doctors recommend to these women, that they get the Indian healing clay or red clay, or I think it's kalalon clay, and eat it. So you can take it and make a paste, or you can just eat the powder. Yeah, strange addiction. That's what it is. So when you eat from the great mother, she keeps you looking good. Yep, you're looking beautiful. You're right. You didn't know these things. It's a lot of stuff that we have been left in the past, like a lot of our indigenous history, a lot of our indigenous medicine, our spirituality. That's what I'm trying to bring more light to it, you guys. Because we've been kind of stuck on a loop talking about the same stuff. Like now that we know who we are, we're doing the work with our genealogy and stuff, we need to be knowing the old ways, even if you're not going to use it, you know. He said, my grandma told me about how her brothers went hunting, and then she'll come back with the rabbit's foot. And she also ate red clay and Cherokee from Tennessee and North Carolina. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's better than Georgia red clay. I'm telling you, that stuff was, when I lived in Georgia, that stuff was everywhere. Get on car tires. But it's good for you. It's healthy. Now, y'all know, like, mask and how good it is for your skin, and what it does, it gets out toxins. So when you eat it, it's basically a detox. So you can actually flush, like they have colonics. What is it called? Colonics. You eat the clay, and you'll basically doing that. You said you're right here in Georgia. Yes, get you a shovel. You're gonna be out there picking up all the trees and getting the dirt. Getting the clay. But basically it's a natural what is it? Colonic. All right. Let's get all that nature before they destroy it. So they're taking what's natural and made a business out of it, not the same quality. Yeah, it's processed. That's why I was saying about the turpentine. Like, it might be good, but it's still processed, right? Now, if it's a natural process, that'll probably be better. Sometimes you got to deal with processed stuff, right? You said red clay heavy and OKC. So my family ate clay too, and to add to it, smoothies, all for pain relief too. Yes, a lot of the stuff I'm mentioning today is definitely good for pain relief, getting rid of disease and disorders of your immune system, right? Like HIV is the immune system disorder, cancer, and things like that. He said, hit the like button and donate if you can. Thank you. I appreciate all the donations. HM already donated today. HM always donates. I really appreciate it. He said, I have it in my yard. and love it. Yes, that's what I'm saying. This stuff is free, or you can purchase it from somewhere. Okay, so let's see what y'all talking about. I got quiet for a second. Yeah, but all this stuff is out here for free. We just what do you call it? Retroactive fading the knowledge. That's that's what it's about. Thank you, Odessa. That's what it's about. That is what it's about. Do you use coconut oil? You can use coconut oil. You can use coconut oil as well. That's from with the islands, right? I was just talking about the wood. Oh, let me get this. Show y'all this. You said you was wondering that. Yeah, coconut oil is good for you. It's a natural sunscreen, right? But sunflower seed. Like a lot of us, like me, I can't really do that much coconut oil on my hair. It's okay on my skin, but not my hair. So I use the sunflower seed oil, and that is actually better for wrinkles. And whoops, sorry. Yeah, so sunflower seed oil is actually better for your skin. It does protect it from the sun, like sunflower seed oil, and I mean like coconut oil. But it's a little better on your hair. It's lighter, and like I said, some people just cannot do the coconut oil on their hair. Just like the shea butter, right? Shea butter is okay on my hair. All right, so these are the pine cones as well. So if you're out in the wilderness and you want to know what is a pine tree, you'll see these things down either in the tree like this, like a branch, or laying at the foot of the tree, okay? And I don't have my acorn, but the same for the white oak tree. You'll see the acorn. The acorn with that little cap on the top that you see the squirrels eat. That's the universal sign of the acorns look different, but that's the one that they show. That's the white oak. Okay, so you know what tree to get when you're in the park trying to chop something up. Cash app. Oh, Sheba, can you put the cash app up again for Odessa? So you use it all the time, and if you can use the sunflower seed oil, then I'm gonna use it. Yeah, you can get it at the store. It's like $3. I think for 16 ounces at the store. Right. Oh, it's Cash App the Tasha She. I don't know who. I think that's the Chinese lady. The Tasha She. $ the Tasha She. Odessa. Sheba, if you can type it up again, it's $ the Tasha She for Cash App. You say coconut oil is good for riding infections too. Yeah, a lot of this stuff is, a lot of the natural stuff is good. You said hashtag. You said $, my bad. It's too funny. Yeah, so yeah, the sunflower seed oil is good for that too. It's great for cooking. I cook with the sunflower seed oil. It doesn't get like how that the coconut oil gets that little thick stuff, that film. Sunflower seed oil don't do that. Don't leave that film. Thank you, Shiva. You too funny. You said, I read in America by John Oglesby that the women took care of the family spiritually at home, and while the men were out. And figure a lot of our spirituality comes from the mothers of our families. So, yeah, that's very true. But the men also were part of a lot of the priesthoods and the secret society. These were not evil like the stuff that you see on YouTube, Illuminati and stuff. These were most of our indigenous secret societies were for healing, right? We use this rattle. They might have a secret society called Turtle Rat or whatever. I don't know all the names. There's one called the False Face Society, where they have these. This is from the Iroquois. They have these masks with the disfigured faces, and there's a whole story and reason behind it. But they were the healers. They make these pine needle teas and stuff. Like if people are ill, they'll come to the False Face Society, get them whatever they recommend, the pine needle tea, the white oak, or whatever, and that would heal them. The regular people, everybody, people knew a little something, something, but the healers, the people who were part of these societies, the priesthoods and stuff, knew more information than the average person. So the people that had issues, they might know pine needle tea is good, but they might like, okay, let me go to the society and find out what else I need. They would pray for them. They'll make a song. You circle the sacred smoke and sound. All right, the frequency. You need the frequency, you need the smoke, you need all the elements, whether it's fire, air, water. What's the other one, you guys? Earth. Earth. Fire, air, water, earth. Use all those. So you'll be out inside, you'll be out or you'll be inside with the dirt floor. The fire in the circle, you're sitting in the circle or you're walking around in the circle, and the air from the smoke, right? Said you like tops. It's like, yes, Empress Callie, I'm trying to get in more into spirituality so we can explore more things about our heritage. And you don't, like, if you're religious or whatever, you don't have to do it, but it's good information to know. You don't have to be part of the ritual aspect, but the knowledge is there, right? You can pray the way you want to pray. You can go to church and pray or whatever, right? And church uses some of the. Thank you, Kenya. Thank you, Kenya, for the donation. Church uses, they have the prayer circles and things like that, right? All those aspects are from the indigenous heritage, right? They just have evolved or changed into something different. You said you definitely need it right now. Right, right. Oh, no problem. You're welcome, you guys. I'm just trying to give out this information. You said I read that steam is a thing, it's our thing, and the ancestors used it for healing. Yes, we had the steam lodges, the steam lodges, like the steam rooms and the saunas. All that stuff came from our culture, and they had them. They had them over there in Siberia and in Europe as well, right? But the ones that they use, like that look like a lodge and stuff, our culture. They had whole lodges just for sweating, and sweating was healing. Now we know today that when you sweat, you release toxins, right? Yeah, air. So that's like a little bit of water and air. You're releasing all this toxins out of your skin. And then mentally, you can sit in there and meditate and you're clearing your mind or you pray or whatever you do, right? So, yeah, like all this stuff, old stuff, science, it's science. Science is now proving all these people right. They just had the big scientific, if y'all didn't hear, the big scientific breakthrough about sage. Oh, hi, Key. They had the big scientific breakthrough about sage. If y'all hear a noise, I'm over here grinding pine. But yeah, sage, it has a lot of bacterial properties. It actually really purifies and cleans air. And it's very healthy for you. So they had proven that the ceremonies of the American Indians that use sage, it's really based in science. Like a lot of stuff look kind of primitive or ignorant to certain people, but really it's a lot of science behind it. And if you weren't in, like I said, a turtle rattle or turtle, it could be anything, society or false face society, you wouldn't really know why you're doing certain things in the background or the science to it. Like the average person wouldn't know, but if you were initiated or you're part of these societies, you would know. And it wasn't any evil type of societies. They were there, the societies were there to heal the people and protect the people, basically. Would you prefer getting sage that is store bought? For me personally, that's the only sage that I use. I don't grow it. You can grow it. You grow it. You just got to dry it out. Would you use wild cabbage for pain? Yeah, cabbage can actually heal bones, you guys. And that's not, I don't know about wild cabbage, but regular cabbage at the store, that's from Europe. But, the Druids and the people like that, the melanated indigenous people, use that cabbage. You wrap it around your ankle or whatever that's in pain, and it will heal it. You can do the same thing here with the white oak leaves. So the leaves of the white oak tree. So if you're out there getting your pine, You getting your bark for the white oak. Get some of them leaves too, because you can heal wounds. Like when the men were in battle, they'll come back. They'll put that, wrap it up in that. They'll put like maybe some pine on it in the oil, make some pine oil, white oak oil, and even cranberries. They'll take the woman will bite the cranberries, or the medicine man or whoever. You know, like how they smush it up for babies. They put it right on that wound, that arrow wound. You know, put the oil on it and wrap it in that white oak. You can tie it with the hemp rope. Oh, peace, peace, Brian. It says beautiful to see the tradition still alive. Even we might not know the origin or heritage. Right? You clearly you see that your grandma and them were a part of this. They had this heritage. If they know all this information, and they subconsciously through genetic memory, if you want to use science, through genetic memory, passed down the information. So is it possible that soul food is American Indian and sometimes eaten for healing? Yes, it is American Indian. Soul food is American Indian food, and it was used for healing. That's why it's soul food, right? Some of these things, like some of these societies, were, you know, they cooked food and things. This was healing. It's like the pine. You can make the pine tea. That's a food, right? Stuff like the sweet potatoes, they had properties to it. You heard somebody say the grandmother used the potato to heal something. All this stuff is healing. And some of y'all might know, like your grandmas and people, they would have to be in a certain mood to cook, because they said they don't want to put that stuff in your food, right? So they would get up, they would play the music, they're clean or whatever on Sunday and get in that mood and put that joy and laughter into the food, right? Yeah, I did a video on soul food, so y'all can go back and look at that one. I didn't add all this stuff though. But it's a certain mood spiritually. If y'all know, some of the old people say, they'll tell the man, don't argue with your wife while she's cooking, or if she's about to cook, because she's going to put that negative energy in your food. And it's true. You can put that vibration in that food, that energy in your food. And that's why a lot of some of the old ladies, they would rather cook than go eat out, because they don't know what type of demons the people have. Y'all, I know y'all heard them say, we're going back to the house and cooking because we don't know what type of demons these cooks got. So your grandma told you to use cabbage or lettuce to stop lactating when I was breastfeeding, and I thought it was odd. Yeah, the cabbage will heal. I didn't know it stopped lactating. That's interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting. You said you heard potato skins and socks get real illness. Oh, I never heard that. I heard cutting onion up. Put an onion in your sock. But yeah, all of this stuff is healing. The soul food, like I said, it's healing for your soul, for your body. Cranberries, like cranberry juice, is good for you. Good for your body, your urinary tract and things like that. You said magic healing with the fried chicken, right? The herbs now, that's another thing about herbs. And, you know, other people don't know that the herbs and stuff is healing, right? All that herbs. So when they give us this unseasoned food, you know, it's the reason why we don't like it, because the herbs are healing. All that stuff, salt, there's all the healing properties to it. Different herbs. Um, what other herbs are there? Like I said, rosemary. People put rosemary on the chicken. Rosemary has a lot of healing properties that our ancestors use. No problem. You said gumbo filet is ground sassafras. Sassafras trees are indigenous to America, and gumbo is definitely one of those foods. Yes, the gumbo was an indigenous food. Comes from the word kumbo, which is Choctaw or Shata word. Yes, so it is a Choctaw dish. Gumbo is a Choctaw dish, and the tribes still cook. I'm sorry, this thing keeps bouncing. The tribe, yes, sage. You put sage on your turkey or your chicken. All that stuff is healing. You can eat it as well. So it's best. That's why it's best to stick to the natural stuff, right? You can buy some sage at the grocery store and use it for multiple reasons. Rosemary, things like that. Use for beauty, for food, for whatever, smoke. I read somewhere that there were wild watermelons here in America as well, and not just coming from Africa. Yes, so we had watermelons. So watermelon seed is also, watermelon seed oil is also something good too. Yes, and so people like the Shinnecock and Narragansett, Powhatan people, all those people, even more people grew watermelons in their gardens. Eucalyptus, I believe that is from Australia. Eucalyptus, that's very good to use, especially in the steam room, stuff like that. That actually clears. I used to work at the gym, and people would come there just to use the steam room with the eucalyptus to prevent colds or to clear out the mucus of their cold. And cold, it worked because I used it too. After I saw them doing it, and it brings all that mucus out, so you have a shorter lived virus. Sage or deer meat. Yep, we have watermelon or shata and identify as Creole and love gumbo. Yeah, gumbo is your food. That's your traditional food. Other places we had similar types of food. The one actual, I talked about this on the soul food video if y'all want to go back. Excuse me. The one pot stew is our signature of American Indians, right? So that one pot stew. So what the women would do, I'm speaking from the Powhatan tradition. They would have this big fire, which the women, well, mostly the children, had to run and get little firewood and pick up little sticks to keep it going. So the flame, like I said, the elements, the fire was the center of the daily life for these people in the woodlands. Had to keep the fire going because the fire kept away a lot of rodents. The fire kept away the big game animals. The Not the game animals, the predators. Um, and that smoke also was healing. So they'll put, different things in it. Mesquite was what they would use a lot of that wood. They would use oak as well for the fire, oak wood, the white oak. And that big pot that they would have, the women had already made out of the clay. They would put whatever they had. They had beans, greens, tomatoes, potatoes, yams, whatever they put in there, and whatever meat that the men would catch. So whenever the men would come back, sometimes the stew would be going for days, and certain having sage and things in it kept the bacteria out of it. Especially if you keep it hot, you can keep it on for days. You can keep the food's not going to go bad because it's hot. It's boiling out those bacteria and chemicals, natural chemicals. So they would keep that pot going much as they can all day, 24/7. And people would just come and add ingredients. The kids would go out. They picked up some tubulars or tuckahoe or whatever, some beans, whatever they pick out, some corn. They'll come and throw it in that pot, right? Just like y'all have gumbo. We go fishing. You got shrimps or whatever. We throw it in there. You might have some deer meat in there. You might have some muskrat, all type of stuff in there. And then sometimes they just have vegetables, right? Sometimes in the winter and different times, they just, or if it's before a ceremony, a lot of times they did a detox with little or no meat. You said it sounds like a pepper pot in the Caribbean. Yeah, a lot of our traditions are similar, and then a lot of those Caribbean people come from the woodland people, right? And vice versa, especially during the trade, the slave trade, and people got mixed up. I'm sorry I keep making this noise. Yep, the smoke kept the bugs away, all type of stuff. Succotash, yep. You make a succotash with the lima beans and corn. Throw all that stuff in the pot. You say your mom made the best homemade soup. Oh, yeah, they put turkey in there, everything. You said, Tasha, you have such a wealth of information and a beautiful spirit. Thank you for taking the time to share your knowledge with us. Your energy always makes me smile. Thank you, Empress. I appreciate you. You've always been supportive on here. So you can only imagine the type of magic our ancestors were doing to keep themselves safe as the Europeans and others came to take over a spiritual war. Yeah, and a lot of the stuff, us losing this information is really what let the floodgates open, because we were winning a lot of the wars. And actually, a lot of the wars were predicted beforehand, before they even got here. We had, our seers had premonitions of them coming, and they were telling the leaders or the priesthoods what was going to happen. Now, there's a story about Chief Powhatan or Chief Wahansanaka, and he had his, well, he was also a seer in his own right. A lot of people don't know. He was in the priesthood, which a lot of chiefs were not, so it was kind of odd. But he had his own special seer. The seer was a woman, and she told him about the Europeans coming, what was going to happen to his daughter, his favorite daughter, and the three Powhatan Wars. How we were going to win all three, but then eventually we would lose. And he didn't want to accept that. He didn't want to accept the information. So he went on and fulfilled the prophecy. And he just kept fighting. And I believe he died before the other wars, but they knew eventually it was going to happen. And then his descendants would have a curse put on us for the next 7 generations. And that happened. It really happened. So yeah, I kind of got off track. What was I talking about? Kind of got into something else. But yeah, a lot of the people did that. They had those type of things. And like I said, because of the society, people sharing their information within their societies with each other to help heal and protect the people. It was a lot of protection going on. And what happened with the Powhatan, it got to a point where we were getting so enslaved, and lands being taken over. They would take a whole town, come through, kidnap people, violate children and old ladies and women. And eventually they would run people out of the whole town, come back and build a plantation on top of that town, right? So either people were ran off or they were enslaved. So the enslaved people would stay and work on their own land, and that's what they did. But it got to a point where that was taking over too many towns. So what the leadership did at that time, what Wahan Sanaka had done at that time, was he gathered all the priesthood or the conjurers and the medicine men and women, and he made them hide among the Mattapanai people. So those of us who are Mattapanai descend from those people. So those people came and they changed whatever tribe they were from, and they became Mattapanai and joined the clans there. He said we love eating corn in the Caribbean and cassava. Yes, and y'all took the cassava, the Caribbean people, y'all took the cassava over to West Africa. Now they call it fufu. They call it fufu. He said they're scared of us, hoping that we're too scared to take back our power. Not today, Satan. And that's exactly what it is, right? You can still take back your power and still have your original beliefs, you guys. Just knowing the information is powerful, right? That's why they banned a whole bunch of things. They banned the ghost dance. They banned a lot of stuff. So we took a lot of those dances. Like the ghost dance was a new creation, but we had more dances before that. But they took other dances and they put it in the church, you guys. So I'm gonna do a video on that too. They took a lot of our traditions and dances and they put it in the church. That's why our church don't look like the Catholic Church or Protestant church or even other Baptist churches, non-melanated people. Y'all notice that? Our churches look different. The dances in the church are our traditional healing dances and different types of dances that we did at ceremony. It is not so-called witchcraft or whatever. It's a lot of positive stuff. That's why you see them catching the Holy Ghost and all that energy, that positive energy, and they start breaking out and dance. And drummers start beating fast and all that. A lot of that comes from our old traditions, right? They just took it and they remixed it and revolved it into something else. That is not in the original church stuff from Europe. They don't do that in Europe. And the Europeans don't do that in their church. You said, wait, the enslaved worked on their own land? Yes, so that's the people were enslaved, like they take over a whole town. If you go and look at the histories of these plantations are built on indigenous towns, right? Right? You guys heard me? The military bases on indigenous towns too. I'm grounding these things, but they're not really, I'm not doing a good job. They still look like pine needles, they're just shorter. You said that's probably why so many blacks in church have some practices similar to hoodoo, like putting feathers in their Bibles and strands of hair. Putting feathers in the Bibles and strands of hair. Exactly. That's what it's coming from. And hoodoo's coming from American Indian tradition and other traditions mixed in there, right? So yes, this is our land and we always worked it. Then they started to take over and we kept working the land because how else would we get things done? Exactly. They came through and they took crops or a portion. Yeah. You said, do you guys suggest books on this stuff? Good book that has some of this information that I mentioned is The True Story of Pocahontas, and it is written by Chief Webster Costello, or Little Bear. And he has some of this information, especially about the Mattapanai hiding the priesthood and the conjurers and such. And he was a Mattapanai chief that passed away a couple years ago. But there's a lot. I read a lot, so there's other books that mention this stuff, and I can't name off the top of my head. And then other stuff, you get from elders that you run into or elders in your family and stuff. Yep. You said you'd like to know more about hoodoo. Well, my cousin, she has a book coming out on the 20th of February about hoodoo. Tiana Lee McQuiller. I'll put the link in below. She's having the Hoodoo Tarot deck. I think it's 72 cards. It's a lot. So it's a deck and a book. And she is related to the Powhatan. She's related to me on several lines. But she's related to the Creek and different she's basically a blend of all the woodland people from north, east, west, south. But she has a lot of information on that. And she was known in the hoodoo world before that. But she really wanted to represent us and put that information in there. So you guys got to pick up her book. You can pre-order it on Amazon now. It's coming out on the 20th. And people have already reviewed it. And they really love it. And especially the cards showing us and the information breaking it down, right? So, and I think I put the picture that I put on the community page of that card of the indigenous woman with I don't know what she had in her mouth, stick or grass. That is from her tarot card book, her tarot card deck, if y'all want that. Hoodoo, a practice of roots, right? He said, Curry Mayo is the best resource of books. Yes, he has a lot of good resources. He always, anything he talks about, he has a resource for it. He said your battery's dying and don't have it. Yeah, mine's is hooked up with the charger, but still dying, y'all. I gotta go right now. You said you collect tarot decks. Yeah, if you collect tarot decks, you will love that, Empress. I said it right. I know, y'all know. I've been saying my words right today. Besides colonics. Besides that, I messed that up. You said it's true. My great-grandfather and his parents were slaves, but they were American Indians. Indian slavery was heavy in the South. Yes, Indian slavery was very heavy in the South. Very heavy. What is that book I've been reading? There's a book that's really good about it. I think it's called The Only Place They Knew. I forget the author, but it really goes deep on the Southern indigenous people, and it talks about slavery and some of the things that they contribute to Africa being indigenous. And the fact that the Negro people of the South are significantly Indian. I believe he says that in that book. Excuse me, guys, that water. Yes, you said, yeah, it drops on It drops, I think, next week, February 20. You can pre-order it now. The Hoodoo Tarot Deck by Tiana Lee McQuiller. So you can, I'll put that link for you guys. You can get it. But she has done her extensive genealogy. Like I said, I'm related to her on several lines. She has extensive knowledge of us being indigenous. So she's going to put some of that in her book as well. But she, you know, she's trying to merge in all the different aspects of that tradition. So there's other aspects that are from Africa or other places as well. But a lot of the foundational stuff is from American Indian tradition. Because, of course, it's here, you know. So thank you for this. What's the chief's name? His name is Chief Webster Costello, or Little Bear, Chief Little Bear. If you Google or you put in Amazon True Story of Pocahontas, you'll see it. But Costello, you can search True Story of Pocahontas, Chief Costello. So they made what we used to do sound wicked. Yes, they did. They really said they did make it sound wicked. A lot of the stuff was healing and protection. Like people will mostly play defense. It's not like people will come intentionally hurt people. Maybe if they're in war, but you know, I mean, people are human. Sometimes people did do that though. You said, are you in Fredericksburg? No, I'm near Fredericksburg. Near Fredericksburg. I'm sorry. All right, but let me see. You said when you read slave narratives, they talk a lot about members of the family being Indian. Why don't they consider themselves Indian since Negro is Indian? I think because a lot of the stuff they were brainwashed, or some of the people used to associate being Indian with doing these traditions, you know, rattles and all this stuff, and not just genealogy or bloodline. That's what it is. Yeah, the only place they knew. What is the difference between hoodoo and voodoo? I was told that hoodoo is American. Peace, Marlon. Hoodoo is American and voodoo is African. It is not much difference. And even with voodoo, a lot of their traditions, they had to come to America to so-called acquaint themselves with a lot of the practices. So if it's, you know, only an African thing, why would they have to come to America, to Haiti and places like that, and New Orleans, to reacquaint themselves with their own stuff? Why don't they know their own stuff? No, I'm not by Richmond. It's in driving distance, though. He said my grandma used to have a healing plant in the house, and we used to use it to get cuts, to heal cuts. Yeah. But you guys, thank you guys for showing up on this live. Like every day I get on here, it's more and more people. 76 people on here today. I think it was up to about 78 at the most. You know, I appreciate all of you. Please share it out so other people can hear this information. Like they could be healing themselves, saving money, and you know, saving their health, because chemo and things like that is very intense and very expensive as well. But so if a pine, you know, if pine can heal them, if white oak can heal them, you know, that's even better. And it's better for them. Yeah. What else you gonna say? What else you gonna say? Yes, please like, comment later, comment below. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, so you can catch the lives, and you'll be able to click the bell button to get all notifications. You click it on the solid gray part. Yes, please share. I appreciate you too, Sheba, for all your help. All right. I'll see you guys next time. And in the Powerton language, to say goodbye, we say Anna. So, Anna.